All right, here we are, step 3 to having a great looking lawn this year. I'm back over here at my project lawn, over here at my friend Robbie's house. If you have been following this series, part 1 happened, we core aerated. Step 2 happened, we killed winter weeds, or we applied a weed killing product to kill some of those weeds that came up in the fall and the winter and the very earliest parts of spring. Step 3 all has to do with our early spring fertilization push and our application of weed pre-emergent, because we don't want extra weeds growing in this lawn throughout the year. We want to push the grass. As I've said on this channel before, I prefer putting down natural and organic products on the lawn in terms of fertilization in the early spring. So I've got a bag of Scott's natural lawn food here. This is an 11-2-2 product, which means it's mostly nitrogen, but we are getting a little bit of phosphorus and a little bit of potassium. It's all going to go down to the lawn. It's all coming from kind of like animal-based sources. Because it's natural and organic stuff, it's not going to be plant available immediately. Little microorganisms and small little creatures in the lawn soil is going to break it down and make it available to the grass. So it's going to feed very slowly. In addition to applying this product, which you can very easily find in many big box stores, we're also going to be applying Anderson's Barricade Dg. This is a weed pre-emergent. It's going to stop the germination of seeds in the lawn. And what we're talking about here mostly is weed seeds. We're not putting grass seed down right now, even though we do have a lot of bare dirt. We want to save that for a step later in the year. Right now, we want to stop extra weeds from germinating. So we put down this product. Now, there are other versions of this that you can find in big box stores. This is the product I use on my lawn, and it's the product I'm going to be using on the project lawn here as well. If I put a heavy application of this can take us all the way into the fall, but I don't want to do that. Later in the year, we will put grass seed down. So I'm going to put a lighter application down here on the lawn today so that we can stop weeds through the spring and the summer, and then be able to put grass seed down in the fall. One of the important things to keep in mind here is that this is very easy. So this is all just one day sorts of things. We're not even going to be putting the sprinkler on, because later in the day today, we're going to start getting heavy rainfall. The heavy rainfall or the water is going to activate the weed pre-emergent. That weed pre-emergent could sit on the lawn for a couple weeks if you really wanted it to. I don't think I would ever recommend you do that. But waiting for a couple days for that rain to happen is perfectly fine. The natural lawn food that we're going to be putting onto the ground also could sit on the ground for a while, but we're just going to take advantage of Mother Nature, put it all down now, and by the time spring really gets going into those warmer temperatures, the lawn is really going to look significantly better than it does right now. All right, Robbie, this is a 30-pound bag. 11% of it is nitrogen, which means a little bit over 3 pounds of this bag is nitrogen. We don't really want to put more than a pound of nitrogen on 1,000 square foot at any one time, but since this is slow release, I think it's perfectly fine to put 1 pound of this stuff down per 1,000 square feet. So basically, we're going to take a third of the bag. So instead of a 30-pound bag, we're going to stick 10 pounds in the bowl, stick 10 pounds in the spreader and run it around. Then we're going to do the same exact calculation for the pre-emergent. Did all of that make any sense to you?
It does, yeah.
All right.
So we're doing a little more than it says it covers.
Yes. So yeah, I've covered this in previous videos on the channel. When you're dealing with natural products that release very slowly in the ground, they actually get used by the grass for a longer period of time. So you can actually put down a larger dose than you would for typical synthetic fertilizers. And I should clarify, we're putting down more now so that we don't have to do a second application later. This will last long enough so that we don't have to apply on 2 different days throughout the spring. All right, now if Robbie was putting down a synthetic fertilizer or something based on urea, or maybe even straight urea, we would not be putting down such a heavy dose of fertilizer. Literally, the only reason we're doing this is because this fertilizer is going to sit in the lawn and be used for a longer duration of time. Because we're putting a heavier dose down, you can see there's tons coming out all at once. That means we've got the spreader setting set to a high number, a high release rate. If we were putting a smaller amount of fertilizer on the ground, we would probably put that setting down lower so that less came out with every step. All right, now the active ingredient in Barricade here is Prodiamine. You can get Prodiamine in a lot of different brands. We'll carry that. This is the brand that I've been using. 7.2 pounds per every 1,000 square feet is the maximum bag rate for this. We're applying to 1,000 square feet, but we don't want to put the maximum bag rate down because we want the product to wear off towards the end of summer so that we can do an overseeding in the fall. So we're going to cut the bag rate in half. We're going to do 3.6 pounds in the bowl into the spreader onto the lawn. Now this one is a little bit more important to get it evenly covered across the whole lawn. So regardless of the bag spreader settings, I like to recommend people put the dial down really low. So long as the product is actually coming out, I put it down low and I do multiple passes across the lawn to make sure that we get the best spread, the best coverage possible. We want it to be evenly spread. That make sense?
Yeah.
As you notice, we're out here with my daughter. So this is not a natural product, so we're going to go ahead and keep her off the lawn while we're applying this. A little bit later in the day, rain is going to come and it's going to activate everything into the lawn. It's going to create that little barrier in the lawn that's going to stop the rooting process of things that we don't want. All right, go to town. All right, now for all of you who are new to lawn care, the beginners to lawn care, I want you to really suck this into your brain and regurgitate it a few times. There is a very big difference in lawn care when we talk about outside air temperatures and soil temperatures. Earlier in this video, we applied a natural or organic fertilizer. It doesn't really matter which one you apply. They all get really used in the lawn once soil temperatures get up into the mid-50s. The reason for that has to do with your refrigerator. We put stuff in the refrigerator so that the bacteria doesn't grow and spoil our food. The temperature needs to be high enough for that bacteria in the lawn to be active enough to break these products down and make them plant available. In this particular video, we're actually applying our fertilizers and our weed pre-emergents a little bit early in the season based on soil temperatures alone. Soil temperatures for weed pre-emergent are usually applied as soil temperatures are in the low 50s and increasing into the mid to upper 50s. So if your soil temperatures are around 52 and we've got a warm stretch, outside air temperatures, coming up within the next week, then we can go ahead and apply those weed pre-emergents. And the reason for that is because the vast majority of spring weeds start germinating in that 55-degree soil temperature range. Any weeds that pre-exist that usually germinated in the fall, went dormant through the winter, and then started growing again as soil temperatures came out of their winter lows. A good handful of dandelions or perennial plants will start sprouting up again as soil temperatures get up into the mid-40s. Dandelion is the most obvious one of them all. An established dandelion plant will usually start growing new growth well before all of the other weeds in your lawn start sprouting. The reason that we're applying the weed pre-emergent now to this lawn, even though our soil temperatures are still in the mid-40s, is because we do want to overseed in the fall. So if we keep waiting, eventually our weed pre-emergent is going to affect our ability to have a good overseeding project come September. So we're going to go ahead and apply it now. If you're not going to overseed in the fall, like my own self in my own lawn, I'm not going to overseed in the fall. So I'm going to wait to the appropriate soil temperature range to apply the weed pre-emergent. Now I have deep dive videos into all of these topics, and I started tiptoeing into really nitty-gritty information right here. So I apologize for that. This video is supposed to be beginner friendly. But I will link to advanced videos down in the description below if you would like. If this is your first introduction to this series, then make sure to watch the playlist to the Fix Your Lawn series, which I have linked here kind of near my bowling balls, and they will also be linked in the description below. There will be future steps to this series coming out this spring, so if you're not subscribed, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, maybe YouTube will figure you out and suggest them to you anyway. I certainly hope this video was helpful, so drop any questions or comments that you have down below, and I'll get to them as best as I can.